Well, hey guys, welcome to Shop Talk. This is me, Kimmy, in the shop. So today we're doing the little work on the 07 Jeep Wrangler. It got a Death Wobble. I'd never experienced that before until we bought this sucker. Of course, we bought it on Facebook Marketplace, went down, met the guy in a parking lot, in a dark parking lot. Give him money and drove away with the Jeep. Didn't really notice anything wrong with it till we got the other side of Wasilla. Got on the open road, it started shimmying and shaking, and we had a long and arduous drive back from Anchorage with this wobbly front end. And besides that, the lights were installed wrong. They didn't shine down on the road. Anyway, it was an adventure. So I told the Eskimo we'll start off with, I couldn't figure it out, except I noticed the tie rod was really freaking loose. And so I said we'll start with that. And another thing I would suggest before you go to buy parts is know exactly what you need and what it's called. I went in to get tie rods and they asked me a whole bunch of questions I didn't know the answers to. They sold me stuff I didn't need. Inners and outers. On this, I have 2 outer tie rod ends. This one is not called a tie rod, it's called a drag link. So there's a tie rod end that goes on the end of the drag link, but I didn't get the drag link. So this is all I can do today. Is replace these 3 points. And the 4th one, well, we'll just have to see. Nothing really looks that terrible to me, but what my research has indicated, it's usually not just one thing with these Jeeps. When they get their Death Wobble, it's a combination of tie rods and control arms, sway bar, links, a bunch of different stuff. It can be ball joints. Of course, that's a job for another day. It does need the ball joints. I might have to inspect the wheel bearings. But I'm down here doing this for now. And the one thing, I'm really glad I have a shop to work in. Living here in Alaska for over 25 years now, I have spent my time outside in the snow, on the ground, under a tarp, working on vehicles, changing out starters, changing out transmissions, installing frost bugs and block heaters and things. It's really miserable to do that. At my age, I'm really glad for this shop. And the thing about the shop is shop time. A friend of mine, when I worked at Igigik, I asked him how long it should take me for a project. He was the master mechanic and I was the helper, and he said, well, 7 to 10 days. I said, well, that's what you told me 10 days ago, because it starts over every day. Give yourself plenty of time to get stuff done. I don't do this to make a living. I do it just to have something to do. Oh yeah. Yeah, so we're not gonna do anything about that. Leave that loose. And then I just have this one more tie rod in to do over here. And adjust her up, and that'll be what I can do for today. Let's see. Here's one thing I noticed though. Here's the stock steering stabilizer, and here's the aftermarket steering stabilizers. And I think they should have removed the stock stabilizer because the new ones are rubbing against that bracket, and I think they're ruined. I wonder If that doesn't have anything to do with the wobble, I bet it does have to do with terrible grinding noises coming out of the front end at times. Well, anyway, that's what I have to say about that. Me came in the shop out here. Alright, so I lied. That's not all I have to say about that. This little project threw me for a loop. Of course, the idea was to just replace the tie rod ends. Simple enough job. Apparently, on this 2007 Jeep, the passenger side tie rod is actually pressed on, the end is actually pressed onto the tie rod. There's no way to get it off of there, you know, without getting out the torch and heating it red hot and ruining the temper of the steel. Don't feel like doing that. So, probably have to put it back the way it is. That tie rod end is still serviceable, and it's way better than taking the chance of screwing up the temper or the threads on that end by using a torch. I kind of like the idea of the new tie rod ends, just because I don't trust those, what do they call them, maintenance free. It means they don't have a grease zert, so you can't grease them. Once they're bad, they're bad. But honestly, yeah, like I said, it's not that bad. It's not worth screwing it up. And I didn't know that I would have to replace the whole dang tie rod in order to do that. I guess that is something learned. And of course, on the bright side, I could have done this under the Jeep, but it's obvious now that these hijacker suspension components are shot. Like I was saying while I was under there, they were rubbing against the mount for the stock stabilizer. They didn't remove the stock stabilizer, so they ruined these nice, spiffy, cool looking aftermarket gizmos. And so we'll take those off, and we'll do it here on the bench, because that way we don't have to get dirt in our eyes. Something about being in the shop, don't plan on staying clean. You're gonna get dirty. Even when you make a mistake like this, a boo-boo, I should have just left it on there, but, well, learn from your mistakes, you know, because if you're one of those people that's got a big industrial shop with hoists and everything like that, you probably don't need to be watching this video anyway. Okay, guys, a little better look here. Gotten about as far as I can go today, because it's Sunday afternoon and I gotta grill some chicken. And you know, after some chicken and a couple more beers, I'm not gonna be back down here. So it is what it is. So we still got some adjusting to do, but it's mostly back together. So what started this project was the Death Wobble. And I have no idea how to fix that. Since I just bought the Jeep, I don't know it that well. And so this is like a familiarization, going along with the keep it simple, stupid. Tie rod ends are usually a fairly cheap, quick, easy fix, and so a process of elimination. What I found out was you can do the left side, the driver's side, but you can't do the passenger side. I'll show you why here in a second. But what I'm noticing here is looks like this axle is too far forward. The what do they call that? The caster angle is off. I suspect what's been done here. I can't say for sure. I suspect this was jacked up at one time, and then it was lowered again, and the control arms are now not right for a lower vehicle. I mean, it sets up a little bit, but not a great lot. But I'm definitely sure that yeah, I mean, I'm definitely positively pretty sure that the caster is wrong. And then under here, so you can see that the tie rod ends are removable on this side. Now this is a drag link, is what it's called. I really would have liked, that still seems a little floppy to me. But I cannot replace this ball joint without replacing the whole thing. And apparently, on this here, the linkage, I can't get this off because it's pressed on here, so I have to replace the whole tie rod in order to get both sides done. Like I said, that's fairly stiff, and that side's serviceable. I'd still like to redo that. Another thing, here's the bracket for that skyjacker. I think I should remove that as well, because as I'm doing the adjustment for the steering to try to center it, that inhibits. I thought the turn radius was kind of not what you would expect from a Jeep, and that's because this sucks up into there and stops right there. So if I remove that, I think my turn radius will improve. So we spent a little time familiarizing myself with this vehicle and Jeep front ends in general. I mean, I've had a few Jeeps. I'm not a great big Jeep person. I like them. I think they're tough and they look cool and everything. I've never done a lot of suspension work on them, or any, come to think of it. Then maybe replace some shocks, do some brakes, but you know, that's typical normal stuff. So we'll have to do a series on these on see if I can get this Death Wobble cured. Right now it still seems a little daunting, but we'll get there. Thanks for watching. Me, Kimmy, out here.